Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have a gameplay of us playing against a pro player. Now we played two different pro players this weekend. We played 3 pros total. We played one of the same pros twice, so you guys will see that upload tomorrow. That is crazy. But we did play against a Mexican pro who I think moved over to PlayStation this year by the name of Uziel. He's a verified player, and we did play him when we were 14-0, 13-0 in the weekend league, 12-0, something like that. Yeah, I don't know much about him. It was my first game ever against this player. His team was very good. He has 90 hullet, R9 and all that, and you guys will see that in a minute. But I wanted to go over the tactics and a little bit really quickly of how we kind of played the game with you guys. And so, yeah, let's do that real quick. So, tactics-wise, we play a 4-2-3-1, balance. Now, Royce's in concept is because I just sold him. So, yeah, I sold him. And the weekend league is over for me. So, yeah, we use Davies, Boateng, Hummels, Hakimi at the back line with Coutinho at cam, Eusebio at striker. And you guys can see the in-games here. We used fast build-up, balanced, 5 width, 5 depth. And then we played Coutinho as a cam, Eusebio at striker, Mars is a right cam, Royce is a left wing, left cam, De Bruyne, Muller in the midfield, Hummels and Boateng at the back line. Tactics-wise, cut passing lanes, cover center on both CDMs, stay back on the left one. Coutinho was on basic, Eusebio was on basic, Mahrez was on basic but also free roam. One fullback was on stay back, which was Hakimi, and then Davies was on balanced. And yeah, I really enjoyed the team, man. I've been playing with first owner teams and things like that, so the whole team was really good. There was no really weak points for the players and the types of players they were. Eusebio had quite the weekend. He played amazing. We've got a really good return going with him now. Muller played fantastic from center mid. He had 16 assists from center mid this weekend, which is just a wild stat to have, man. And then Coutinho also put up some really good numbers. He's been really solid for us. He's a very good player in this game. And I love my fullbacks, guys. So enjoy the gameplay. And if you guys want to see more games versus pros, whether they're boring or they're entertaining, make sure you guys drop the thumbs up on the video. And yeah, thanks, boys.
So, guys, we have to commentate over the gameplay. The reason for that is that of the copyrighted music. But there you guys can see Team of the Year Mbappe, 90 Hullet. 94 Cristiano Ronaldo red. Quite an interesting team. It's actually funny because he's using Nick Pope, and one of my really good friends who's a pro player also uses Nick Pope. So I actually thought this was him at first. I didn't really know. Obviously, usually when I play somebody from Mexico, we're connecting to the Mexico City server. So the connection is dodgy, man. This was like a 30-ping game, but it was just dodgy, man. But I wanted to bring you guys this gameplay, and I want to bring you guys gameplays against these top players to show you guys how these guys play. This particular pro plays like a rat, straight up like a rat. He does play very passive, and right off the kickoff, he did get his best chance of the game. That was his best chance of the game. It was off the kickoff. That's where I'm most vulnerable as a FIFA player. I suck on the kickoffs. I cannot defend kickoff for my life. I'm horrible at it. But right here, what we're doing is we're kind of building into the game. We're kind of regaining our composure a bit. We were with the 4-2-3-1 wide, as I talked about. So that was a really standard, I think, good formation to be using against players who are going to be playing sweaty FIFA. But I wanted to point out this right here because you guys can see that touch from Eusebio, man. That gameplay touch was really bad. So that was what I was kind of dealing with. The gameplay was very questionable in that regard. I think the biggest thing for me in this game was just, and like this weekend, right? Because I played a couple people like this that were full pro meta play style, low depth, just kind of a style that's very slow. The thing what I tried really hard to do this weekend was just patience, man. Like patience and composure. And I didn't take that many risks. Like against these players, I feel like you have to take the proper risks. You have to go when it's right to go. You can't just force it because of the slowness of this year's game. But you guys can see we're passing around here. He was very good at keeping his CDMs close to his center backs and then manually defending and moving his center backs downwards. So I did highlights of the first half for you guys. You guys can see just unlucky. The one thing about playing against Frankie de Jong that I had learned was that Frankie has this ability to always win the ball. He's got some sort of sticky to him. I was taking the ball from Frankie so much, and he just kept keeping the ball. But you guys can see here, it's the 45th minute. And this is how you know I'm really trying, man. I'm trying to take the last shot here, and to do that, we try to keep the ball. But unfortunately, I did like a really stupid mistake in the midfield, and R9 is going to play the ball into Ronaldo. But I think we did some pretty good defending here, and we took care of Ronaldo. Alphonso Davies was really good this weekend, man. I really liked him. on the left back spot. So I thought he was very consistent. So we're heading into halftime, guys. We were tied 0-0. It's one of those really slow games, and partially the reason why I edited out the first half was that there wasn't much going on. There really wasn't much happening in the first half, so I didn't want you guys to look through that. But here you guys can get a look at what I'm doing in terms of my tactics, and I'm changing up a couple things. So we have Coutinho at the cam spot, Eusebio at striker, Mars and Royce out wide. And a lot of people were asking if Muller and De Bruyne as CDMs worked. It's a little bit less traditional because they're not one of them is medium high, but they were both high, and they both did defensively what I needed. And you guys could see against top players, they were doing okay. What we did here was we made a tactical change to put Davies on stay back. The reason for that was that I need that fullback back because of the mistakes that my center backs could make. Against these types of players, you really can't play balanced fullbacks just due to the meta this year. And in this game, I 100% had to stoop down to the meta a bit. I don't like playing like this, but what I ended up having to do was work on my possession and keep the ball, because that's how you beat these types of players. And I felt like the number one way I was going to make this guy nervous was to keep the ball. Right there, we use a scoop turn and try to utilize the space. What I'm trying to do is catch his other center back off guard. And I honestly wasn't attacking too smart up until this point, man. I should have waited after I did that scoop turn for him to react a bit. And then I should have done potentially a little bit more after that. But you know, you live and you learn, and we're continuing to attack. We're continuing to try to get the goals, to try to get to try to get that go ahead, man. That go ahead goal against this type of dude is going to be almost absolutely everything. So it was great to see that my center backs were doing super well. He's potentially got one of the best, if not the best, strikers in the game in terms of 94R9. And Hummels and Boateng were really locking it up, and I was really proud of my manual defending this weekend, man. That was something that I really did well against these really good players, but I guess towards the state of the meta, man, it sucks that it's this way, and it sucks that we have so many people that are playing this type of meta, guys. It's brutal. But this guy was, I believe, the number 3 or number 4 pro in Mexico. I'm not sure the exact ranking, but from what I had heard in my chat, that this guy is definitely a pro for Mexico, and it's quite the matchup, man. I mean, I know that from Jackson, who's another pro player in US, was telling me that he had played him last weekend, and that the game is never easy. So I know that he was really happy when I played him because Jackson wanted to see me beat this guy. I've never played him. Apparently, he was an Xbox player in the series on PlayStation. I don't really know much about him, and I know that at this point we were 13-0 heading into this game, and he was like 16-1. I think that was like what I think is going on. So this guy is still playing for potentially top 100 / a very high elite 1 finish. Is kind of what marbles are on the table for him. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit on the line in terms of this game, and what was in it for him. And I think another thing to mention is that a lot of the time when people are playing a content creator, I feel like they really are trying to beat them. Right there, I had a little sus moment with Royce. I was thinking if that's Cruyff, if that's Eusebio at that spot, which I'm starting to try to like picture for my in-game team. If that's one of those players, I don't think that's missing. And that's where Royce is a little suspect. And that's why I have a meta team, but you guys can see when I play a full meta team, my team is at a weakness. Because when you play a full meta team, you need to have every player ready for that one chance, right? There's only a couple chances in these games against these top players. And so you need to have every single player on your team ready. And Royce right there just, I don't know, man. I feel like he let me down a bit, bro. I was not ready for him to let me down there. I thought he was 100% going to cash in on that chance. And when he didn't, I was disappointed, man. I thought he was totally gonna hit that chance, and so obviously when he didn't, guys, I was definitely disappointed, man. I thought Royce was gonna be cash from there. Royce, the thing as well with Royce, man, that he did really well this weekend was like Royce was just a net machine, man. Royce was almost hitting every single shot that I took, man. He was so lethal, man, from so many of the spots that I had taken with him. So for me to see him, right there miss that was kind of surprising, man, to be honest, because he was hitting most of the stuff that I was taking with him for the majority of the weekend. So to see that one not go in, yeah, it was definitely a little bit, it took me by storm that I was like, wow, Royce just missed that shot. But yeah, Royce was good. I know a lot of people have been asking me if Royce is good. And right there, I made a mistake against these players. Like, you have to go backwards before you go forwards. And that's where I messed up. Like, I completely forgot that when you play these players, the way that they use their fullbacks, you have to turn backwards, guys, before you go forwards. And that's the sad part about this top tier meta. And like, that's why, as embarrassing as this game is, I want you guys to watch the gameplay, man. I want you guys to see like what this meta is really like, so you guys can see, how really the patience that it takes when you play against a player of this rank or a player of this stature in FUT Champs, right? Because it does take a ton of focus, and it takes a lot of like zoning in, right? You gotta really focus when you play these players, man. It's kind of how it rolls. So that's what we're obviously focusing on. We're just trying to come out of this game with a W, man. That's really the goal on my mind here. I'm like, yo, we've made it to the 73rd minute. We gotta beat this guy. This has to be a win. And right here, this is kind of where I'm a little bit upset that I didn't score here, man. I feel like I had him on the edge here. I feel like he was definitely like not really sure what I was doing. And what I had noticed was it's always good to take away signs from these games, guys. What I had noticed was the more that I had kept the ball, the more nervous this guy was getting. I could see it. I could see it on his attack. I could see it on his possession, that the more I was keeping the ball, the more he was getting like nervous. I could see it in his gameplay, the way he was making mistakes and things like that. He just wasn't as attacking as good as when he had the ball. And that's due to being warmed up and things like that. Right there, he had a nice scoop turn. But as you guys can see, I was defending so well this weekend, man. I was dragging my center defensive mids back. I wasn't manually moving my center backs out of position. When you play against R9, when you play against these types of players, you really have that's really kind of the only acceptable way. You have to play like that. You have to bring your CDMs back. You have to manually control them. But again, I think a lot of people are also asking me about Hummels this weekend, man. Like, I'm using 96 Hummels in a game against like pros, man. That is almost unheard of, man. And he was really good. He, for the value, is an amazing center back. And you think it's interesting because he's high medium. He really doesn't have like anything like crazy compared to other center backs, but he's got the stock. He's huge in game. His passing is really good, and his defending is lights out. I played a shadow on him, and him and Boateng were holding it down like previous German teams, man. In real life, they were unbelievable, man. So I was super impressed with them. I mean, at this point, guys, it's 85th minute and it's 0-0, and this is where I wish that EA would change the meta, man. I wish that this game would go back to attacking. It is easier to defend than attack on FIFA 20. That is definitely something that is super frustrating. I guess currently with the game is how easy it is, man. It's so easy to defend. Right here, you get a chance with Ronaldo. I will give him that angle all day, though. Usually that's not going to go in unless the player has outside foot shot trait, which I'm not sure if Ronaldo has. He might have. But I was going to give that angle to him. I was fine with him taking that angle. Right here, I made another mistake, and this is where you guys can see. This is my inexperience of not playing pros recently. I haven't played a ton of pros recently, and you guys can see that I was trying to sprint a little too quick on attack at times, and that is going to hurt me in a game like this, right? You have to do the patient build, man. You cannot do the fast build. The rush build does not work against these players, man. You really have to do everything and anything you can to keep the ball slowly as you build, which sucks, but at this point, we're going to extra time. You guys already know the vibe, 0-0. So to any of you guys that are still watching this gameplay, man, you guys are legends because literally this is a 0-0 game, and it's the most boring thing to commentate over. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, so this is kind of where, like, I don't really like penalties. So I'm never a person that's going to be playing for penalties. And so that's kind of where I'm kind of looking at this game now, thinking about how I can really take this game. And what I wanted to do for the whole entire extra time is keep the ball. I wanted to do my best to keep the ball in his part of the pitch. I wanted to try to harass him and make him go crazy with me having the ball in his side. And right here, guys, we get so unlucky. What a run from Son, our super sub at Cam. Eusebio makes a super nice double tap wide pass, and his Vieira gets an auto block through the legs, man. That was going in the back of the net. You already know Son is net machine. That is going in. So super unlucky. That was our best chance of the game, and I was really looking forward to that going in. You know, I thought that was going to put us ahead, but I was so focused at this point about getting this win, man. I needed to beat this guy. I've had bad experience against Mexican pros. I've never beat a Mexican pro, I don't think, maybe once. But I've had a really couple close games with Mexican pros. They're super hard to play against, super sweaty. And so for me, I really wanted this win. You guys can see here, we're doing our patient dribbling with Son. That was the problem with the gameplay, and I have to figure out when the gameplay is bad, I need to make adjustments because you guys can see there, that touch was horrible, man. The touch we just took right there was absolutely terrible. It was a terrible touch, and I gotta focus, man. When our gameplay is bad, like, we gotta go figure things out, man, because like we can't just keep playing the ball into Eusebio and hoping that it's gonna change. When you have bad gameplay, your gameplay is gonna be bad, period, right? So here he goes with Gnabry. I thought he would go back here. I'm just kind of, you guys can see, like, I'm passively defending. I know that he's going to be trying to do dragbacks. And again, here's another mistake, and this is why, you know, I had to get used to playing pros. I had not played pros in a while. I kept trying to, that was my biggest mistake in looking back in this game. I kept trying to do scoop turns out of the back on the wing, and he was just defending it easy because he knows that I'm going to try to push for a counter. and it's just super easy to defend. But Son's playing a nice outlet here. We're going to try to stretch the ball wide with Royce. Unfortunately, we have to go back to the fullback here. But we do go back into Eusebio. We try the backheel pass. A little bit lucky that that's sticky. And I couldn't believe the rotation that Ricardo Pereira made right there. The artificial intelligence this year, the auto defending is insane, man. He wasn't even selecting that player, and Pereira dropped in to cover the run, man. It's really crazy to see how overpowered EA have made the AI, man. It's insane this year. But so that was definitely a little bit annoying because I thought right there for me that we had definitely brought a goal there. I thought we were gonna get a goal. If I had Son on the breakaway in a net machine angle, I would definitely take my chances that Son would definitely go ahead and score that. I thought he would definitely do it. But again, possession play here is what we're continuing to do. Davies makes a mistake there. That was button registration. I was trying to play into my striker there, and it played to my CDM. That happens a lot of the time. I've got to be more like aware of it. Very smart right here. That's me seeing my mistakes in game and fixing them, right? Instead of pushing the line, I'm going back to the fullback and doing a nice build-up, nice and slow. Royce is getting involved in the middle. I put in Arnold at CDM for Muller. I felt like Arnold was going to offer us a little bit more going forward with that high medium. And Arnold is a clinical player. I like Arnold a lot in this game. That team of the year has been very good to me. So in this type of game, you're always looking for players that you trust and players that have been good to you. He makes a mistake here. We send Arnold on a beautiful run with his 99 attack positioning. I maybe should have shot there. Arnold has 76 finishing, so I wanted to make sure I got a better angle. We win the ball back again. I'm doing left stick dribbling with Eusebio. I tried to pass it to Son there. It didn't pass, but we're not freaking out. We're not losing our head. We're keeping our composure, guys. That's kind of what we're doing here. We see a nice pass to Eusebio. A drag back there, super lucky, but we play a wide pass there. Right there, guys, that is so important, that angle. I had to wait for him to move his keeper, man. These pros are always going to move their keeper, and so that was really smart of me in the 118th minute. We tried our ass off all game, man. We worked our butt off to get this win, man. And that's sad, bro, because 1-0 is disgusting, but that's the state of this game. When you play these players, you have to focus, man. You have to focus all game. There can be no lapses in your decision-making, and you need to remember that these guys could get one chance and they're going to score. So right here, I actually changed my tactics, bro. I changed my tactics to, I think I changed them to possession instead of fast build-up, because possession was going to help me possess the ball if I want it back. There was only one more attack in the game left for my opponent, so I dropped my width and my depth down to 3, and I put comeback on all my wingers, I think my striker, and my CDMs. Like, I wanted this game so bad. I'd worked so hard, and when you beat a player that plays like this, that is a pro, it's like you climb Mount Everest, bro. The feeling is unbelievable. So I really wanted to make sure I was able to like embrace that feeling, man. I wanted to feel like that I could enjoy that feeling after 120 minutes and not concede a dumb kickoff after all my hard work, right? And getting a shutout against the pro is great, man. That's the thing I'm most impressed with, man. I know that this game is low scoring, but my manual defending all game was great. Aside from the first kickoff that he had in the first couple minutes, my manual defending the whole game was great. So here it is, boys. This is the 118th minute. Will he get a kickoff? That is the hope that he doesn't. He goes to the wing. He plays an inside downwards pass. But I kind of knew what he was going to do here. He just needed to play it to a striker, hit a left stick dribble or a drag back or two. And right here we play really smart, playing out of the back as he pressures. And right here with Hummels, we play a wide pass to Davies. And then we are going to play back to the center back. And we're just playing chill, man. I'm not forcing it forward. I'm trying my best to not give him the ball back. And then with Davies there, what I see is my player is open. And I am hyped, man. So we go ahead, guys. We beat a top Mexico pro in the weekend league. 1-0. I know it is only the weekend league, but for me, I focused really hard in this game. This guy could have sniped me. I don't really know. But to get this win, I was definitely really hyped, to say the least. So thank you guys for watching the gameplay today. I know it was only 1-0, but I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.